Let's begin from the Bono-Hafo region because there's tension between some truck drivers and some NPP executives in Yeji following the seizure of 3 trucks of Premix fuel meant for fishermen in the northern region. The trucks on transit were supposed to have been on board the ferry but were stopped by some NPP executives. It is unclear why these trucks have been seized. But let's get on the line and speak with Daniel Techi of Alive FM in Yeji for some more details on this. Now, Daniel, what is happening where you are?
Well, good afternoon. Apparently, where I am now, I think there are 3 trucks of Premix fuel. Trucks that Premix fuel that has been seized by party executives, the NPP party executives in the Pro district. So, as it stands now, they've depleted all the cars of the tankers carrying the Premix fuel. Their concern was that for some few weeks and months now, they have not been receiving any Premix fuel here that will help fisherfolk here to go for fishing. But they only got up this morning to see these 3 trucks making a transit from Yeji to the northern part of the country. That is the first truck, which is going to Accra, then the other one is going to Makango, then the last one is also going to Pejai. The first truck is with the registration of my GT 9109 2013. Then the next one was GN 5360, also 2013. Then the last one is GE 8589X. They are all making a transit to the northern part of the country. But according to the party executives, because they have not been receiving any Premix fuel for now, they will not allow these particular trucks to go there and discharge their fuel. Therefore, they have seized the truck. As it stands now, the drivers have been able to convince them in any way to allow them go because the Premix fuel are not meant for this town. But they never listen to them. They say until they discharge this fuel, they are not going anywhere.
So these are NPP executives. How do we know that they are NPP executives in that region?
Well, they own up that they are party executives, of which I have some of them here. The youth organizer is with me here. Deputy youth organizer, deputy organizer is also with me here. We have the disciplinary committee chairman is also with me here. The secretary has been here. The chairman himself, Chairman Yebua, has been here. It's like all the party executives, including the appointees.
Okay. Now, Daniel, I'll have you find out from them whether they're aware that they're taking the law into their own hands by doing what they're doing.
Okay. So as it stands now, I have that of the youth organizer with me here. Kelvin, please, can you tell us why you have seized this truck, and if you are aware you are breaking the laws of the NPA?
Okay, thank you very much, Danny Boy, and then good afternoon to you once again. And then we see this fuel simply because for some months now, we've not been receiving any fuel for the fishermen in our constituency. And yet, day in, day out, the complaints are becoming here. We made a move to Accra. We meet Banaman, who is the Premix board chairman, and then the fisheries minister. They told us that every week, they load 4 tankers for Yeji. But yet, if you receive 2 weeks, you receive only 1 tanker. And we don't know where the rest are going. And yet, we, the party executives, here, we, the party executive for the New Patriotic Party, we've taken it to a stand because simply since 92, we've never win a seat here. This is the time we want to win a seat here. We only need that for 4,000 votes to win the parliamentary idea. So people are putting pressure on us. It's like they say, oh, our party, because of our party, they are not getting fuel. They can't go for fishing. I know Yeji is a fishery community.
Okay, hello, can I talk to you? Hello? Hello, can you hear me? No, I'd like to talk to the executive, the person talking. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Right. What's your name? What's your name and what's your position again?
You said?
What's your name and what's your position again in the party?
Okay, my name is Tiamete Calvin.
And you are
the youth organizer.
The Yeji constituency youth organizer?
Yeah, for the really New Patriotic Party.
Now, you've seen people trying to transfer Premix fuel, and you say that because you belong to the party, you have the right to stop them. You don't.
No, that's not what we are saying, that you have to transfer the fuel. We are not transferring fuel.
No, you are. I'm saying that you are stopping them from transferring, from doing their legal business. You don't have the right to do so.
Yeah, I understand you, madam. It's not like we are stopping them because it belongs to the party. What we are saying is that Yeji is a fishery community. Yeji is a fishery community for so many months now, and all the people along the coastal areas are buying Premix in Yeji. But some individuals try to send the fuel somewhere, and then instead of the government say they should sell it 7 cities, 50 pesos, madam, they will send it to other side where the fuel is going right now. Then the same people have boys in Yeji here. They will go and bring those fuels back here and be selling it 15 cities. Yes,
okay.
And then it's tarnishing the image of our party.
Okay, so you have, so you're saying that they are doing something wrong, right?
Yeah, they are doing something wrong.
Okay, now you know what you do when people are doing something wrong, you report them to the appropriate authorities. Have you done that? Have you reported them to the police with your evidence?
Madam, we've reported a lot. And even we came to Accra, we meet the fisheries minister, we meet Bannerman, who is the Premix board chairman. He told us that even every week they load Yeji 4 tankers. Madam, even if you call the securities in Yeji here, they will tell you that we've never received 4 tankers in Yeji. Even for the past 3 weeks now, we've not received even one fuel in Yeji, madam. And yet the market here in Yeji, we spend it 3 days. You understand?
So you reported to the police, you say. What did the police say?
Yeah, when they said, then they said, this one, they cannot put their mouth inside. That's why we have...
Is that what the police told you? The police said they can't talk about it?
Yeah, no, whenever we give them the complaint that the fuel they are diverting it instead of what is supposed to come to Yeji doesn't come. No? But then they say, oh, we should go to the top. That made us went to Accra on several occasions. But yet, the fisheries minister and the bannerman are not be able to address the issue, madam. 3 days ago, we were in the party office when we called bannerman. He said, oh, no, if you want, we should come into office. He has been loading Yeji 4 trucks. Madam, see, up to now, we'll be calling Banama. He doesn't pick our calls again. When you call him 1, 2, 3, you see your number. When you're calling him, he doesn't pick it.
He doesn't pick. Now,
the people are giving us pleasure here, just managing the image of our party. And if you want to win a city here, that is why we say, no, this poor, they should offload it.
Okay, now, Mr. Kelvin, there are 2 things going on here. And this is what I'll have you realize. You cannot mix the party's image. Whether the party's image is being tarnished or not, it has nothing to do with the law. The law has to work separately from the party's image. And I just want you to understand that. Now, if you say that you've reported to the police and the police says they can't talk about it, these people who are carrying the Premix fuel, now what is going to happen? They have to go on and do their business, and then you have to sort out the problem with your party's image. Do you agree with that?
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Kelvin. Can you hear me?
I can't get you clearly. Hello.
Okay. What's going to happen with the people? What's going to happen with the people now? Those with the Premix fuel, you are stopping them. You are breaking the law by taking the law into your own hands. What's going to happen? Are you going to let them go?
What we are saying is that, can you imagine, even if it's the intentionally, that's why, so what is supposed to come to Yeji, when it's coming, some people at the Premix committee there, they change the name and put individuals' names. These things belong to individuals. We only want the Premix, the National Premix Board. They should come inside, because see, when the Premix is going to a community,
they're diverting it. I get the point you're making, that they're diverting it. What's going to happen now?
Yeah, that is what we are
okay,
saying.
What's going to happen now? What are you going to do now?
What we are going to do now? Okay, right now we are calling Bannerman. It's not picking. He should come and certify something to us, because the name, the things are going to different communities. But yes, there's one telephone number on all of them to whom they are going to upload it for. Madam, you are getting the point. Instead of the thing is going to different communities, yes, it's one person's number who is on all of them.
Help me to understand you. You're holding them until, or you're keeping them until you hear from Mr. Bannerman.
No, we are just saying, we want Bannerman to tell us something. What is Yeji's for? Instead of the 4 weeks, the 4 loads that they are giving us every week in Yeji, we just want him to come and tell us.
So until you get to hear from Mr. Bannerman, you will not let them go. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's the decision of the executive. That's what we decide.
Kelvin, thank you very much for your time. Can you pass on the phone to Daniel?
Okay, hello, give me.
Yes, Daniel. Daniel, has there been police presence as we speak?
There is one man with me here who owns the truck that is going to Batango.
I would like to talk to him so that he can clarify as to whether really that particular fuel belongs to him or not. So,
okay, let's make that quick, Daniel.
Okay. Hello, Gipsy.
Yes, sir. You own this. You own the fleet. You own the fleet of Premix fuel.
Please come again.
Do you own the Premix fuel that you are transferring to the north?
Yes, please come again. I can't hear you well.
Do you own? Do you're transferring some? You're transferring barrels of trucks of Premix fuel. Do you own it?
Hello, Gipsy.
All right. It seems that I'm having a difficulty hearing him now. I can try one last time and see if I can get through him. Hello, sir. Can you hear me? Clear.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I'm asking whether the trucks carrying the Premix fuel belongs to you. Do they belong to you?
Yeah, the trucks that are carrying the Premix fuel, the three of them are here. Now, the one that owns one of the trucks that is going to Makango is right here with me. And it's like they try not to understand with him, or they don't want to understand his explanation that he's given. So let me speak to him and he can clarify the air as to whether he really owns that truck or it's something else. About JoyNews. But that secretary I can want me. Obet matrimony, yes, Papi, then Ababeka.
Ababeka han one apart from Duran or my premise and Busuba. And a power we sent a driver Nuna premise was you about the group and to a Mutu or Muntini. One time in Baba say, who a Mutu on Belu do a Muko track every week. Or my young Kunutran or my city. My dear Mutu Suaba Han or Mukas or Mutu or Muntini of Queen.
But we are mine. A gentleman away.
Me, Mina Makango Chama.
Makango Chairman,
NPP
Makango Chairman. Who are landing?
And you are landing me.
It is our petrol, Premix way, not a Comacango. I will land.
I come Makango, me landing me.
It is NPA for him, what I'm saying, or Malo.
I want
But yes, Sema, or more master Premix no air canal, which I say, number, telephone number, a way bella, not that track the coin. Nipa ba kuno ma menim unoma wo we be no so
wonu dia amfani ntimi kirem dura na di driver ni no friend ntimi hunu ana me lamba wo we be no so ana office na mo di me lamba
it is so bad
ntiti ade se driver ni no friend mi ma ba ha ntimi ba no wo mu kata no anya ade wo mu kirete wo mu be wo mu be ma me lodu
tu ja ma to ana se den
titi ami to meet ye manja ma wo mu this I want to know ma che mi ko papa.
Okay, Mr. Udino.
Mr.
Fraser is the NPP chairman at the other side of the lake, which is Makango, and he claimed ownership of one of the trucks that has got stranded there. And according to him, until the police comes in, I think he has nothing to do for now.
Okay, so this is a what NPP chairman you say?
Yeah, he's also an NPP chairman at the other side, which is the northern East Goja, Makango.
Okay, and he's saying that the trucks belong to him, but he cannot confirm whether the telephone number on all of the trucks are his.
Yeah, according to him, that the driver called him that he's bringing his load. So for now, he hasn't seen the waybill to confirm as to whether the telephone number on the waybill belongs to him or not.
Okay.
For that, he can't confirm.
Okay.
But as to the driver that called him, he can confirm that that is the truck that has gotten Yeji now.
Okay, Daniel, I was trying to ask you earlier before you spoke to him whether the police has been there.
The police now, the police commander is here, and the youth are not trying to cope with him. The police commander is here.
Can we talk to him?
Calm tensions down because I've been attention here.
Okay.
Now I have with me the secretary of the party.
No, Daniel, we're good with the executive of the party. If it's possible for us to speak to the commander, that will be okay.
Okay. Let me see let me get close to the commander. I think he's trying to calm tensions down, but we are trying not to cope with him. The police commander, the police commander is here.
Right.
The police commander is here. Commander. Commander, please. Commander.
It's obviously a tense situation there in Yeji, where some NPP executive, we understand, have seized some trucks containing premix fuel meant for the northern region. We've been speaking to Daniel Techi. We're trying to reach the police commander, who we are told has just arrived at the scene, trying to bring some sanity to the situation. We're not sure yet if we're getting the police commander, who obviously is trying to solve the problem there. But as and when we have him, we'll find out what he's doing about it. Now, it obviously looks like something going on between members of the NPP in that region, because the person who we spoke to, who confirms that he owns the trucks carrying the premix fuel, is the NPP chairman for another part of Yeji, whereas those who have impounded those trucks also belong to another, are also NPP executive. I have Daniel on the line. Let's see if we've been able to get through to the commander. Daniel, are we successful with the commander?
No, in fact, the way the youth and the guys around are harassing him, he's having that tempers are high. For that matter, he wouldn't like to talk for now.
Okay.
He's trying to move to his car, but yes, they are following him with the noise, and the latest youth that are here, in fact, the youth are trying to attack them in one way or the other.
They are trying to attack the police commander?
Oh, yes.
What do you see now? What is happening now? Describe to us what's happening now.
They defeated all the time. So, commander, upon meeting the executive, he came down to see that they can at least inflict the ties so that the cars can move. But they said we didn't agree. And as it turns out, there are a lot of insults that they are casting on the commander. In fact, the tempers are high.
So who is trying to attack the commander? The NPP executives?
Oh yes, the youth. You know, there are executives and the other youth of the town.
Okay.
In fact, it's so bad. They are attacking the commander.
They are attacking the commander? Can you describe what they're doing to the commander?
He has gotten into his car and they are following him. Pointing their fingers at him. That's really what is happening. They are following him.
Has he
I don't
moved?
know if I can still get a commander to talk to him.
Has he moved?
Commander, please. You're on JoyNews, please. Well, he said he's not ready to talk for now.
Very well.
The drivers who are stranded.
Okay. Daniel, certainly a worrying situation. Daniel, keep your eyes on it. We'll come back to you as and when. We're trying to raise the Deputy Minister of Fisheries on this matter and get some responses from him as well. But Daniel, keep watching for us. We'll come back to you as and when we have to. Daniel Techi is with Alive FM in Yeji. Very worrying situation there. Now, that is information that's just coming in. Obviously, you've not heard this anywhere. The commander, the district commander, police commander for the Yeji police, I believe, was just on the verge of being attacked by youth there, including, we're told, NPP executive in that region, and it's all about premix fuel. Let's stay with this matter a little longer, because the Fisheries Enforcement Unit has impounded a big cycle vessel. Well, apparently there's an update right now in Yeji. Let's go back to Daniel. Daniel, can you hear me? What's happening?
Yeah, I think there was a little attack on there was an attack on the police commander, but after he moved his car, the people are trying to, in fact, attack the vehicle, the premix car, the truck that are here. Now they are inflating the rest of the tiles that are not inflated. They are trying to deflate all the tiles. It's so nasty. Please.
Okay, they are deflating the tires of the truck or of the police commander's car?
No, the police commander has just moved. Because of the attack, he has just moved. You know, the truck, all the front tires were deflated. Now, the rest of the back tires that were not deflated, they are trying to deflate it. And some were trying to attack the car by throwing things against the truck.
Okay, so the commander has left. As we speak, the commander has left. The owners of the truck are still there, struggling with the NPP executive who are trying to impound the vehicles. And then they are deflating. They are deflating the tires of the vehicle.
Yes. Okay. They've deflated all the front tires. Now they are deflating. They are trying to deflate the back tires as I speak now. Temperatures are very, very high here. I can't say for a fact.
Right,
Temperatures
Daniel.
are very, very high here.
Right, Daniel, we'll come back to you. We'll come back to you along the line. Now, very disturbing situation happening in Yeji. But as I said, let's stay on fisheries for a while, because the Fisheries Enforcement Unit has impounded a big cycle vessel. Richard Kojo Nyako has that story. Richard will be joining me. Richard will be joining me with some details on that. But right now, let's get on the phone line and speak to the Deputy Fisheries Minister, Francis Kojo. Hello, sir. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Have you heard what's happening in Yeji?
Thank you. Hello?
Have you heard what's happening in Yeji?
Yes, please.
What can you tell us about it?
My first appeal is for our guys who are who have seized these trucks, to appeal to them to understand that we have processes and procedures for working. We had a letter H last week, so there have been some delays. That is agreed. But we have dispatched this fuels to Pagai and then Akapi. Theirs is also on the way. I'm sure that by evening or early tomorrow morning, they will get their 4 trucks. We give them 4 trucks every week. So theirs is also on the way coming. And so it will not be appropriate for them to decide that once they have not received theirs, other people shouldn't have theirs. So my appeal to them, my kind appeal to them is that, yes, they called yesterday to complain that they do not have fuel. And as a result, I spoke with the chairman and the administrator, and they are telling me that they have dispatched theirs and it's on the way. So
okay, right now, let me bring your attention to the details that the NPP or the people we spoke to who say they are NPP executive are saying. They say that even though their Premix fuel has not arrived in Yeji, there are trucks of Premix fuel which are being transferred from Yeji to the northern region. That's what they don't understand, and that has actually created a lot of chaos. They almost attacked the police commander, we're told.
The fuel is destined for Pagai and Akrapi and Upper Volta, not to the northern region. So those are the destinations for which these consignments are to be delivered. They are not to be delivered at Yeji. They have to pass through Yeji, but they are not to be delivered at Yeji. And so I will still appeal to them that theirs is on the way. They will get it. They should let it. If they don't understand why they don't have and other people should have. But I think that we are working with different companies, and we fill and dispatch. They all have to go and queue. So once it gets to your turn, yours will be brought to you. And yes, it's on the way. They will have it today or by tomorrow morning. This information that I have, if they don't get it today, by tomorrow morning they will have it. And so this is not destined for Yeji. It's not for Yeji. It's not like anybody is diverting anything. It's for Pagai and Akapi.
Well, I'm trying to raise a reporter in Yeji once again so that we can speak to the NPP executive on the ground at the moment, who almost attacked the police commander and who have deflated the tires of the trucks carrying the Premix fuel, so that we can have you talk to them directly with this appeal. Hopefully that will work. But in the meantime, how is it possible that they and this is how they feel, that we are here, we're not getting Premix fuel, but then there is Premix fuel that's moving through our location. How does it work? Help us understand.
You see, the point of the matter is that we do the allocations that do it. Last week we had a hit, and honestly, we had decided that during the close season we're not going to do Premix. However, for those communities, we are not going to affect by the close season, so we're going to ensure that they get Premix this week. But I think that when the order went through, they took it as omnibus, an order for all the Premix deliveries. Then we have to go in to tell them that they are not affected at all. So this week we have started dispatching to all the communities on the Volta Lake. And so it's first come, first served. If your driver parks the car first, the driver that is going to whatever location parks the car, and that driver is served. So these people were ahead of the Yeji people. The Yeji people, my information, that they have left Tema. And so their fuel is on the way. It's not like when we go there, we say, okay, we call Yeji, we go to Yeji. No. Every driver is assigned a place that the person is going. So if the driver is able to go in and queue ahead of the other one, that means that he is going to get the first delivery, and then the other ones will follow. So it's not, and this is not about diversion, it's not about, it's just the fact that these cars were still ahead of the Yeji trucks, and the Yeji trucks, as I'm speaking to, are on the way to deliver Yeji.
Okay, it looks like you will have to speed up a little, because I was just talking to a reporter on the ground, and he was describing it to us as it was happening. Scores of young people trying to, or almost attacking the police commander who had come in to try and solve the problem. I spoke to one of the executives who says that he's an executive of the party, and the party is not getting a good image because of premix fuel diversion, etc. I mean, I did explain to him where the law needs to apply, because your party has a bad image, you should not break the law. But I think that it would be good for them to hear from you. I've not been able to reach a reporter, so you can talk to them directly on the show at the moment, sir. But I'll have you hold briefly, because there's another story that will take your response on. It's about the Fisheries Enforcement Unit, which has impounded a big cycle vessel at a pump. And we are told that the cycle vessel was involved in transit shipment at sea, which normally occurs when a bigger vessel is at high seas, transfer fish onto a smaller canoe that has no fishing gear. Now, we know the government recently postponed the implementation of the closed season, which scientists believe was one of the measures aimed at reversing the dwindling fish stock in Ghana. As I have you hold, sir, let me get a very quick update on that with our correspondent in the central region. Now, Richard, where did this happen specifically?
Well, this incident happened at a pump early this morning. The Fisheries Enforcement Unit were patrolling, and then they chanced on this canoe, a very big canoe, filled with a lot of small fish, and the fish have been iced, and that is normally what happens. What happened was that these canoes go to the high seas, and then they meet up with the bigger trawlers, and then they transfer the smaller fish that they have caught, and then they give it to them. So they put ice on them, and then they send it down. And that is normally called cycle. And it's a business that the fishermen have really complained excessively about. And it is one of the reasons why the fishermen, most of them were opposed to the closed season, because they wanted government to keep some tabs on these or check them.
Richard, why is this wrong?
Come again?
Why is this wrong?
Well, it is against the fisheries laws that those at the high seas cannot directly transfer fish that they have caught there to the canoes that go there. And so, according to the laws, it is illegal, and that is what is called cycle. And many of the authorities have been fighting against the cycle business, but it's not persist. And so this morning, they chanced on this canoe, and then they arrested, or they impounded the canoe. Now, what happens is that when they arrest them like that, they send the canoe and its content to Tema, for the necessary processing, and then for subsequent prosecution. And then what I realized was that the Fisheries Enforcement Unit were ill-equipped, and now they are trying to do their best, but they did not even have a vehicle to even transfer the fish that they have in the canoe to the appropriate quarters and the other thing. And sources that we have spoken to indicate that most of these bigger vessels are owned by some politicians, and that is why the fishermen get angry each time these things happen. And we heard from one of the canoe owners that were caught in this act that, as soon as they get to Tema, they will leave them off the hook. And so this is exactly what has been happening.
Okay, Richard, thank you very much for that update. Mr. Kujo, do I still have you?
I am on the line.
Very well. I'll have you respond to these.
Hello?
Yes, sir. I'll have you respond to...
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. You remember that when we announced the closed season, most of the feed from the fishermen were that closed season was not the solution to recovering the declining fish stock.
Yeah.
But that the ministry should be up and doing an effort against the fighting illegal fishing activities and enforcement of the fishing law. Now, unfortunately, for some very good reason, we decided to postpone the closed season. But then we issued a statement that we are declaring zero tolerance for all forms of illegal fishing activity. And so the enforcement team it has been put on red alert to patrol the sea, to be able to monitor and possibly catch anybody who is engaged in any form of illegal fishing activity. Okay. So it's a very bad time for anybody to think that I'm going to smash the fisheries enforcement unit because we have upped our game. Okay. Unfortunately, why this cycle? I had to ask the question why the cycle thing is illegal. It's illegal on two fronts. One, with the fisheries law is against transshipment, and transshipment is where one vessel which is fishing transfers it directly from its vessel onto another vessel, whether it be a ship or fish ship to canoe or any other way. So we don't allow, if you want to transship, then come to the port and then move it from one vessel to another vessel under the supervision of the fishery officer. But why the cycle thing is we don't want it, we are fighting it, is that those who are doing the trawler-based fishing, we have licensed them to catch demersal fish. That's a fish that is on the floor of the sea. But then when they go, they do mid-trawl fishing and they're able to catch all these small fish. But because they are not licensed to catch them, they cannot land them at the port. They cannot land them at Tema or Takrady. Okay. So what they do is that they liaise with these fishermen who then have to travel all the way to the vessel and then get this undersized fish, which are been caught illegally, and then land them at different locations like Tema, Elmina, and other places. So that is the illegal bit of it. And where the fishermen have been complaining because the trawlers fish from the 30-kilometer, 30 nautical miles and above. And then this, our local people fishing.
I'll have you respond to this specific detail so that we wrap up this conversation. Okay. He mentioned that he's seen, the reporter was on the ground, he's seen that the people, the task force or the enforcement unit were ill-equipped in terms of how they're doing. So if you want to enforce the law and you're still doing it with a task force or an enforcement unit that is ill-equipped, you probably won't get the sort of results that you're expecting. He also says that some of the vessels are owned by politicians. I'm sure that this is something that the forestry, that the fisheries ministry is very well aware of.
Oh, let me answer your last question. That is not very true. I mean, that is a perception. But the point of the matter is that whenever we are caught the big vessels, there's a penalty, and they agree to pay the penalty. It's very clear. When you don't pay the penalty, we don't give the license. So
how much in penalties do they have to pay?
If you are first offender, you pay $1 million.
$1 million?
Yes. Usually what they do is that they come and push it, and they can pay to full quarters. But you need to finish payment before we can give you license to go to sea again. Okay. So it's not like because they are politicians, we let them off the hook. If you're a second-time offender, it can be $2 million or above. So it's not an easy thing, and I don't want anybody to think that the fishing vessels can.
Okay. So finally, address for me the ill-equipped bits that the enforcement unit doesn't have the requisite.
I don't want to say that the fisheries enforcement unit is the best equipped. Fisheries enforcement is best equipped, but they do have challenges. But what is happening is that they do their patrolling on the sea. So maybe at the time they go to Apam, their trucks are not able to get to Apam because when they are on the sea, the trucks are in Tema or Takrady, they have to move. So by the time you land in Apam, for instance, you will be able to get the trucks to come to Apam to enforce, carry those goods away. And usually it takes a lot of time for the trucks to come from Tema or Takrady to do that exercise because when you're on the high sea, you don't know where you are going to be able to encounter illegal fishing. And therefore, you cannot direct the traffic to be stationed at a particular place or something. So usually, you arrest them, then you start to communicate to the people to come around. I'm sure that this is what happened in this particular case. But we have a lot of trucks to carry the nets and that go to Tema once somebody is caught in illegal fishing activity.
Well, hopefully, this will be the situation because if you are positioning to arrest people for doing the wrong thing, then you have to be ready. It doesn't matter whether or not you will find people doing the wrong thing, but you position yourself to get the people who are doing the wrong thing. But sir, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it here on the show. Francis Cudjoe is the Deputy Minister for Fisheries there, helping us with the information on both that we're getting both from Yeji and what we're hearing from Apam as well.